This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Hot Georgia Rein by Martha Sweeney to make the story appropriate for all listeners on YouTube. Read to you by the author. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided below in the description. Chapter 2, Henry. One would think that a man who just lost his wife would be grief-stricken and unable to think clearly or do anything regarding the planning of her funeral. We had our ups and downs, more downs than ups, but I never wished this to happen to her. She was a good person, just trying to be a good wife to a husband who is miserable. One wouldn't expect him to feel as if he can actually breathe for once and feel like he's finally free from all the bullshit and unhappiness that he caused upon her and himself. It wasn't her fault that I never really loved her, not like she loved me. It wasn't her fault that I was unhappy. I prayed she'd get better so we could move forward with the lives we each wanted. One would think that he's selfish for immediately thinking about the woman he loves, the woman he let get away instead of the woman he had married and now has to bury in 1 week. They called him heartless, unkind, and so many other ungodly words. I know because I would have been that guy judging someone else without bothering to know the whole story. Is it wrong that my tears are more of joy rather than pain? When we got along, we were good friends. I'll miss the good times with Juliana. Though my eyes tell the world I'm grieving, my heart is longing for another like it always has. It's longing for a second chance, if there still is the possibility of one. Henry, my mother calls from somewhere out in the yard. I don't bother to answer as I continue to cover up some of my carvings that I don't want to be seen by anyone, especially my or Juliana's parents. No one ever really bothers to come into the barn other than me, but I'm not willing to risk people seeing them. Henry, she calls again, with her voice getting louder. In here, I say after getting 2 more covered. What are you doing? Mom asks, standing in the barn doorway with her hands on her hip. Just taking care of some stuff, I say. That stuff can be dealt with after the funeral, she chides lovingly. Mr. and Mrs. Summerlin have been looking for you. For what? I inquire, putting away some of my tools. For what? My mother repeats. For what? Honestly, Henry? I told you and them. I've already made all of the arrangements, I remind. You what? Mom asks, stunned as if she doesn't remember me confirming that I said it earlier. I've taken care of everything, I repeat. You've called the morgue, and the Wadsworth, and the... Yes, I interrupt. When? She pries. I took care of all of it the 2 days after she died, I inform, and everything else since then. Henry Lee Rein, Mother says, making the sign of the cross. What? I return. That's what happened. There's no easy or nice way of saying what happened. You could be nicer with your word choice, Mom chides. Sorry you don't like it, I say sarcastically, but I'll say it however I'd like. Just because you're grieving doesn't mean you get to be a drop it, I direct. I'm not in the mood. Everything has been taken care of. If you and the Summerlins don't believe me, then you can check the folder I left on the kitchen table. Everything has been handled and paid for. Now please, let me be to do what I need to do. I understand that some people become angry when they're in the grieving process, but that doesn't give you the right to take it out on me, of all people, Henry, Mom asserts. I let out a heavy sigh. I'm sorry, Ma. She moves closer, just a few inches away from me, and takes my face in her hands. I know that you and Juliana didn't have the best of relationships, Mom states. And I know that this changes a lot of things for you. But be mindful of everyone else who is grieving, especially those who are missing her more than you are right now. Is it that obvious? I inquire, shamefully. Just to me and your father, Mom returns. I know you two reconciled and that you don't like that she passed. But I also know that this opens a lot of opportunities for you. Just keep your head while you're here. I nod, knowing she's right. I need to let people grieve before I can really move on. She wasn't a bad person, remember? Mom reminds. I know, I sigh. We moved past that the last few months. We just wanted different things and came to terms with it. No, Mama corrects. You both wanted the same things. You just wanted them with someone else. Someone you let go of and someone she didn't want to put through all of this. No, I lie. You can't fool your mother, she says with a smug grin. I know that you've regretted letting Ivy go since the first time she went to New York for school. I saw it again on your face the day you married Juliana. Mom, I sigh.
Please, don't. I won't say anything else, she confirms. Not right now, and especially not in front of the Summerlins. But you need to help them grieve for their daughter, their only child, for the next few weeks. Then after that, you can be as selfish as you want. Okay, I agree. Do you think she'll come back to pay her respects? Mom suddenly asks. Who? Ivy? I check. Mom smiles. Yes, Ivy. I doubt it, I reply. I haven't seen her since before the wedding. I know her parents raised her right, Mom says, despite what some of the townfolk may say about anyone who isn't a purebred. We're not purebreds either, I remind. I know, Mom returns. But regardless, she loved you once. Perhaps she still does in one fashion or another. I'm sure she'll come. I don't comment, not sure of what to say to my mother, who's practically giving me permission, not that I need it, to try and salvage things with the woman I've loved since high school. It's weird to hear my mother say all of this. We've never really openly talked about much, especially love. Actually, she talked while Dad, my brother, and I just hummed and nodded as if we were listening. The men in my family don't talk. We never really have, which is why Ivy and I didn't work out, and why Juliana and I had so many problems as a couple. Just remember, Mom says, bringing me back to reality. Grieving for a few months. After that, you can do as you please. Why a few months, I ask. The Bible only gives people 3 days. Most do more, and most will expect more, even from a man who never really loved his wife, she explains. A few months is the perfect amount of time for things to naturally occur between you and Ivy. That is, if you still have a chance. I doubt there's a chance, I sigh. You never know, Mom returns with an encouraging smile. I don't know how I'll react if I see her, I admit. I'm sure I can guess a few options, Mom shares with a smile. And I know that none of them will be anger. Mom looks to her right and notices the cot in the corner. How long has that been out here? For a while, I reveal. Mom nods but doesn't comment. She looks around the barn a little more, inspecting it as she always does whenever she's over. Do you need anything? She inquires. Just for a few months to pass quickly, I joke lightly. Will you go after her? Mom asks. You know, try to find her regardless if she comes back or not for the funeral. I shrug, not wanting to admit the truth to my mother or out loud for anyone, even myself, to hear. I need to be smart these next couple of months. I need to also grow a set of fucking balls and do the things that I was once too chicken shit to do. Well, I'll let you be, Mom states. I'll go over what you have with the Summerlins to make them feel better, and once they head home, your father and I will take you out to eat. I'm fine eating here, I say, brushing off her offer. A small mini refrigerator chock full of beer is not a hearty dinner for my boy to have, Mom directs. We'll be back around 6 with your brother to pick you up and take you to get something to eat. I expect you to be dressed. Mom, I huff. Don't argue with me, Mom corrects. Yes, ma'am, I return, knowing that arguing with my mother is pointless. She nods and leaves the barn without another word.
This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find a link also in the description. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.